Oh, it's that panning again. Sorry. Hello, me again. I'm Tim, and this is the How to Murder Feet Coast West Southwest Coast Path. There you go, I've totally forgot the intro. It's fine. It doesn't matter. You know what the deal is. So it's Sunday, the 22nd of August, I think, about 11 o'clock, and I'm back here in Seaton, the more or less sunny Seaton. And I came from that way last time, and going that way this time. And it's only been 2 weeks because I've had a big old change of plan, and I'll explain more as we get going, but I need to crack on because my car is about 12 miles that way. I need to go and retrieve it. A lovely day. I was promised high overcast with very little chance of sun. Not raining though, so that's the main thing. There we go, Seaton from the other end. Try and hold it still a bit to allow heaving stomachs to settle. Yeah, so it's up and over that lot next. Big hill of the day, all that. But interestingly, I think I'm going to be doing a lot of inland this time, this particular day, because in May, more or less around the same sort of time I was struggling on the cliffs behind me, about 20 miles, the whole load of this collapsed. It was on the news and stuff. So, yeah, a whole load of inland detours I think might be the order of the day today. I do take inland detours quite seriously when it comes to a collapsing cliff path. So there it is, off in there and then across and probably up over there somewhere. So let's do that. It's still very busy here. There we go. Lovely view. So this is the River Axe, I believe. Axemouth is a small village just up the road there. That's Seaton. This is also the Seaton wetlands, apparently. Big old bird reserve type thing, and there's the Seaton electric tramway thing as well, which you can see the sort of posts for, and I think that might be one of their depot sheds. I don't know. Tram.co.uk. Yeah, you can see the electric pylons running all the way up. I can't see any actual trams at the moment, showing my usual sense of impeccable timing. Zoom out. Making everyone ill. Right. Yeah, there we go. And then I need to be up there next, which I think is when the hills get started in earnest. Yeah, so yeah, I am here 2 weeks earlier than I said I would be. Was that some dust on the lens? Hold on a minute. Don't know if it mattered. So yes, 2 weeks early because I'm day tripping today again. So the original plan was to do 7 days of backpack hiking, camping in hedges and so on, sometime mid to late September, which as we speak now is about 3 weeks away, 3 or 4 weeks away. Trouble is, I've got a lot going on in my real life outside of hiking at the moment. I've got quite a complex house move going on with chains on both sides, and it's in that all the solicitors have gone away to quietly do stuff I can't comprehend, which is why I'm paying them. And then I got a feeling that at some point very soon they're going to all turn around and go, "It's done now, go, move." And so I'm going to have to sort of try and sort that out, hire a van and what have you. And also it's all very busy at work at the moment, and I can't see me responsibly taking 2 different sets of time off for moving house and doing some hiking over the next month. Oh, there's a tram, look. Hear me whittering about my life, my first world problems, and you can see an actual tram instead. There it goes. Open top, so that you can twitch effectively from the top. I think it stops in laybys. Well, it did when Kate Humble had a go on it. Anyway, if you want to know more about the tram, I do recommend Kate Humble's Coastal Britons, a highly acclaimed series, Coastal British Walks or whatever. Highly acclaimed series with a much greater budget than I've got. Anyway, so yeah, change of plan. I've decided I'm probably going to just day trip on Sundays the remainder of this hike, which is 7 days worth. So I'm just going to do 7 Sundays, of which this is the first. So I suppose technically speaking this is week 8 day 1, but week 8 is probably going to take place over 8 separate days, which if you wanted to put them all in a line together would constitute a week probably. Which means that, I mean, yeah, given how much more pleasant the last day trip as well was, And by the time I'm probably freed up to the point where I could responsibly take a week off to go hiking, I think I'd probably be well into November and October and November at that point, and I don't really want to do that. Because whilst I think my sleeping bag is rated down to -1 degree, I can't imagine it's going to be comfortable. So yeah, so I think I'm probably going to end up just Sunday day tripping the remaining stuff all the way down to Poole Harbour. So today, here we go. So here we are. So there's Seaton, where I am now. Actually, I'm just on that river there, that river bridge. Focus. So it's along the path up to Lyme, Regis, and to that orange bit, that's where we cross over from Devon into Dorset, which will be my 4th county of the trip in total. I did Devon twice. And then Charmouth is there. So going beyond Lyme Regis and up a bit, you can see a massive inland detour there. I think there's a whole load of collapsed cliff between Lyme Regis and Charmouth, so that's going to be a bit dull, drudgery, trudging along the side of an A road or something. But we'll enjoy the day anyway. It's going to be good. And yeah, I parked my car this morning somewhere in Charmouth and got the bus to Seaton. So, and here we are. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. You might consider that not camping cheating, but it's my holiday, it's my rules. And I think I've proven I can do the camping, more or less, apart from when it rains, in which case I go running for the nearest train station. But yes, I think it's just practically speaking, I'm far more likely to be able to get X number of Sundays off than an entire solid week somewhere in the middle of September. Because if it gets much later than September, it's going to start getting cold and wet, and even more cold and wet than it usually is. And we've had some really weird weather as well. I'm not sure I could realistically guarantee myself another week of reasonable weather from here till next May, next spring or something. Really odd. Really sort of, it's like we had one sort of week about a month ago when it was 31 degrees and everyone was dying, and then it's not. I don't think we've had 3 days during which it didn't rain for one of those days since. So yes, I've turned into a weekend hiker. Easy day trip of it all. But it means a bit less weight, a bit less stress at the end of each day, so why not? Just panicking about if my car's been stolen instead all day long, so that's alright. But then, yeah, also part of me wants to see the South the Coast Path in autumn and even in winter, which would be madness to actually try wild camping during that, but a Sunday day trip when it's a bit frosty out or even snowy, who knows? Depends how many weekends it takes. Obviously, if I literally do every Sunday from now onwards, it will take me probably be mid-November, mid-October. I think probably the last one will be then if I get every Sunday in. But I may pick Sundays to not do it. Last Sunday I didn't come out here. Last Sunday I was just hiking around where I live. I got absolutely drenched. Really, really heavy rain. It was hilarious. I had to put the waterproof legs on and everything. And that was okay because I was no more than 2 miles from my own home at that point, so I don't mind that. Anyway, I better stop yakking and get on and get up that hill. I shall speak to you more soon. Up and past the first golf course of the day. Yeah. Straw. It's been recently harvested. They haven't got the straw in and baled it up yet on this one. Definitely that time of year. I think they've done quite a lot of it back in Hampshire where I am. So I saw a few fields unharvested on the way out on the bus, but not many. They'll be frantically working to get it all in the rare gap in the weather that we're having this year. It's a race between the rain. If it's all stood there and it's basically done, it's ready for harvest, it essentially starts dying at that point, apart from the seed pieces. So the rain is a particular problem because it can cause it to start rotting. So they have to try and get it in as quickly as possible and then dry it in big barns or whatever. Yeah. So that's Beer Head over there, the campsite place. That was all last 3 weeks ago, I think, actually, now I think about it. Yeah. Good. Up on top again. Good. Yeah, we got the straw in from this one. We all stacked up in bales in a barn somewhere. Fodder for animals, or I don't know, biodigesting. Does that work on straw? I'll have to check. Anyway, fantastic clear day today, and you can see quite far. So if we just zoom, here we go. That there is the island of Portland. Portland Bill being on the end, lighthouse on the far end. And there's like a little causeway connecting that to Weymouth there, and I think that block might be a ferry or I don't know, prison hulks? I know they had prison ships off of Portland for a while. I don't know if that's still a thing. Anyway, or was that the 1800s? I'll have to ask. But yeah, big long sweeper curve. Now I think of Portland, the Isle of Portland there, essentially that forms its own little miniature circular day trip walk. And under normal circumstances, if I were doing this as a full week, I'd have to go and do that. Well, that would be an optional day. You can choose to do it or not. You can just carry on around the end of the Headland Causeway and onto Weymouth and beyond. But now I don't have to make that kind of difficult decision about whether I want to bother doing an extra unwelcome day at the end of a very hard, sort of towards the late part of a very hard 100-mile week. I could just turn up and actually do it as a thing. Which will be good for you if you're wanting to see more of me do more of the coast path. Good for me as well, because I don't have to do a 100-mile week with potential rain interruption in the middle. Yeah, it's all good. Of course, it's only possible because we're getting relatively near to where I live now. It took me, about 2 hours just about to drive here. And, the St Ivesy bit down the far end, that wouldn't really be possible. Because that's a 4.5-hour train journey down to St Ives. Then I'd have to get off, hike a bit, try and get a bus back to St Ives, and because down that end of the world the train stations are quite few and far between, I'd have to I wouldn't have time to actually get a day's hiking before I'd have to turn around and come back. I'd have to basically just get straight back on the same train and come home again. So yeah, so I'm able to get away with this day trip malarkey while we're relatively near to where I live. But if, for example, I keep going and end up doing, off to like Brighton or Kent or whatever, probably it'll end up having to go back into week-long camping trips again, just because of the distances involved. Or the Welsh coast path. I imagine the entire Welsh coast path is going to be beyond my day trippery, pretty much, except some of the bits around Cardiff, maybe. That 2 hours to drive to Cardiff. But yeah, so I'm making the most of it. It's nice summery sun, and I think it's just the miles and the experiencing, putting one foot after the other on the trail. That's the important thing. I will still have walked the entire thing. I just don't think I necessarily need to carry an entire camping set around with me and do it in 7-day stages every time. We'll see. I mean, effectively what I'm doing now is chipping a day off what would be a 7-day week trip. So I might still reserve the option to do the 5 remaining days when I get 2 more days along or whatever. Flexibility, that's the key. So anyway, there you go, there's my rationale. I don't know who I'm trying to convince, myself or you guys. I'll have a think about it while I walk some more. Oh, surprise wildlife. Nearly trod on him, and oh, look at this. Some kind of enormous caterpillar grub type thing. I mean, God, what's that going to hatch into? The size of it. Trying to think, imagine the sort of butterfly that comes out of that. Let's try and get some extreme close up on the anatomical detail. Some kind of tail thing. Iridescent sort of camouflage. Segmented sections. There's the head. Eyes on the front there. Where are you headed? Hope it's not a slake moth. Got an obscure China Mayville reference there. Oh, he keeps rolling over. He's falling over. It's not entirely stable. I'm going to leave him on his way. In case it leaps up and burrows into my head or something. But it probably won't happen. Is there a Latin name for a fear of caterpillars? Don't know. Anyway, hopefully I didn't trigger anyone there. Oh, it's a lovely day though. Nice cooling breeze mostly. Yeah, there it is again. And sort of meandering up and down massive choked overgrown landslips, I think, here. Which is quite safe. I mean, if they've got this kind of growth on them, they're generally quite stable and settled. But yeah, at some point, that whole section did drop off the side of this hill. I think once it's slipped, it's probably fine for a good couple of 1,000 years until the sea eats it all. Then a new sharp edge is exposed and that becomes the next landslip in waiting. But yeah, I can't see that fresh one. The one that went off in May this year. I might have passed it, it might have been at the golf course. Don't know. And see, it was on the regional news and everything. And I was thinking, oh God, that could be me. But I'm alright. Oh, here we go. A sign. Lyme Regis, Charmouth to Lyme Regis undercliffs. Oh, hang on, you're on extreme zoom back, aren't you? There we go. Yeah, there you go. We're just going to be meandering up and down all this shattered bits and pieces and rubble all the way to Lyme Regis, by the looks of it. It's probably all stable, but keep an eye out for any diversion signs. Yeah. Oh, look, there's a red sign. I love a red sign. Oh yeah, a bit of a more recent, well, I don't know, I'd say recent. It's like trees with 50-year growth there, by the looks of it, 30 to 50 years old. So yeah, I reckon that's all quite stable. Let's go chance our luck. Here we go, more information. Goat Island. Yes, there you go. If you want more information, press pause now. But yeah, basically an enormous landslip in 1839 that took away a lot of turnips, which they turned into a festival. Something Queen Victoria. Although it doesn't look like an island now. If that's the Goat Island of question, there's a chasm there, so it's not actually a sea, an island in the sea. It's just a big bit. Oh, is this Goat Island on now? Must be, yeah, the chasm must be through those woods. Because I just came back through there, and my God, it's all over the place in there. It's a warren. Very twisty. The path meanders up and down, loops back on itself, up and down. There's steps all over the place. I had to put about 5 signs in the last mile just so you could work out how to get through that bit. But this must be Goat Island itself then. I suppose this chasm they talk of, is that the bit with the trees in there? Not much of a chasm, if you're honest. I think they may have made something of a mountain out of a goat hill. Yeah, it drops away a bit in there. So we're actually on a sort of little stack, I suppose, having climbed up on that side there. Interesting. I'm still wondering about that caterpillar now. I mean, I didn't dare put my hand near it for comparison sizes, but it was about 12 centimetres long. I mean, you know, whatever hatches from that's going to have a wingspan of at least a foot. Right, so keep moving, watch the skies. Just going to silently quail in terror at a world run by 2-foot long moths while you take in this majestic scenery. I think we're alright. I got away with it. Good job I didn't tread on it. Are they vengeful? See what I have to deal with. Welcome to the undercliff. Nearly had my ankle off twice. Grrr. A lovely wooded glade. Don't know what those are. Lots of them, doing well. It's not wild garlic. Can't smell it. Look at that, sheep wash, 50 yards. I mean, yeah, go on then, I'll bite. If only to find out what a yard is. I've never satisfactorily understood it. I think it's something like a metre, but not quite. Anyway, let's go and have a look down here. Yeah, I thought I'd teleport down those steps. Didn't want to trip over holding the camera. Oh, there we go. Here's some more information. Press pause to read. Oh, here we go. Look out for silver-washed fritillary butterflies in July and August, one of the largest butterflies found in the UK. Well, that explains a lot. Good stuff. Yeah, sheep wash. Built in 1800, was a local attraction for miles around. They washed the sheep with fuller's earth and lime. Is that not highly alkaline? Well, whatever. What if the sheep enjoyed it? Yeah. And here is said sheep wash. It's actually been stone lined. It's not just a, ditch. It's a proper basin of sorts. Chert, apparently this stone around here is. Filled with a pottery pipe from a local spring, which seems to have rerouted itself in the intervening years. There's a ramp there, yeah. Interesting. I think after the landslip it stopped being used, so all this greenery, woods and stuff grew up around it, but it's still here. Interesting. Alright, I need to get back up on the trail and keep on slogging on. It's quite hard going, this undercliff stuff. It's very up and down, because essentially it's all of this around us is essentially 1,000-year-old rubble, still in the heaps it came to rest in after the landslip that caused them. 1800s, I suppose, this one, so these trees have come up since. I mean, the grass and the greenery is going to cement all the rubble together, making it relatively stable, but the sea will gradually eat it over future thousands of years, and eventually there'll be a new cliff, and then that will collapse. It's just to do with the nature of the soil here, I think. But I don't think I'm in any particular danger today. It's not been heavily raining over the last weeks. I want to see how we go. I'm sure it'll be fine. Jet ski out there somewhere. Lovely view though. I don't know what bay that is. Lyme Bay, something. Still on this undercliff stuff. Hard going. I found a bench there, so I'm going to sit and have a swig, have a drink, chill out a little, and then carry on. It's not particularly big hills or anything, just a lot of very small ups and downs, which add up to a lot. I fell over on my arse on some slippery stuff as well. It's quite muddy, and this overgrowth sort of keeps the sun off it, so it stops it drying out particularly quickly. So it's quite squelchy in places and quite slippery on some of the slopes. But I'm still alive, so go me. Oh, so there you go, push pause there if you like. I'm going to push pause here myself. And then onwards. No idea about distances or positions at the moment. It's just one great big verdure. More information. So, yeah, it looks like we're about halfway between Seaton and Lyme Regis. It's about just over a third of today. And it's 12:55, so time's looking good. Although, you know, day tripping, not camping, time scales are more flexible today. Hey, it's going to take me 2 hours to drive home, but I can do that at night. You know, my car has headlights and everything, so that's fine. I just don't want to get locked into a car park, but most of these car parks open till dusk at least. Should have checked, really. There's some sort of car park down there, and then onwards, I think. Just keep on trudging. Fortunately, not very easy to do camera work along these trails. They really are ruthlessly slippery in this kind of slick sort of 1 or 2 days after it's rained mud. It rained last night. Don't know. Everything feels moist and humid. But yeah, got to really pay attention to your feet along this bit, this undercliff stuff. I mean, you know, falling off a cliff notwithstanding. I mean, look at all those triangles. Uneven steps, uneven ground, falling rocks, mud flows. I mean, look at that guy. He's not happy. He's doing the help me waving hands thing. Unstable cliff edges. Tell me something I didn't know. Hidden fissures. Oh, look at that. There's a man who has no idea when he got up that he's going to have to contemplate cutting his own arm off to escape. God. Maybe I should just walk that way to a road and get a bus. Well, in case I don't see you again, it was an honour serving with you. Still in the undercliff, which is quite hard going in its own way. It's not just an honest, open, massive hill with steps on the side like I've seen elsewhere, or even a Minack Theatre style ladder, but just relentless up and down, jolty, slippy. Just had to climb over that. But Tim, I hear you ask, why are you hiking in August with full-length trousers on? Well, seeing a lot of people going past with shorts on. Also seeing quite a lot of shin-high stinging nettles along here. Plus, I have seen enough posters about ticks and Lyme disease to not take any chances. I'd rather be hot than stung. That's just a personal lifestyle choice. Mind you, I have had to deal with my fair share of throat-high brambles across the path on the way here. It's all these rains, everything's gone mad with growth. Particularly the brambles, which seem to grow much faster than the rest of the hedges. So you just get these lone green barbed wire bits hanging across the way all the way. But it is nice. sylvan tranquility. We're quite sheltered from the wind from pretty much all directions down here, so don't get much rustling of leaves. Very distant sea, buzzing of insects, a few birds. It's nice here, if you take a moment to stop and stare. You come across small ruined buildings as well, sort of dating back to the turn of the century or the 1800s. Must have been here when the landslips happened. Quite a few people coming backwards and forwards along here as well. Keep diving into the hedge to let them through. It's quite narrow in most places. Oh, I just keep soldiering on. I've no idea where I am. I'm just going to keep walking that way until it turns into an ice cream shop, which I think it might do at Lyme, Regis. How are we doing? 13:21. Yeah, loads of time. All the time in the world until the sun sets. Which today I believe is probably about 8ish. Starting to draw back in again. Now we're into the mid-tail end of August. Starting to notice it getting a little bit darker, a little bit sooner each night. Won't really notice it until September, October, I suppose, but it's going to be interesting if I come out here on Sundays in November. Quite a short day. I have to adjust the day stage length accordingly, but it'd be interesting to see it in full, no leaves, sticks and wind autumn, early winter, nice contrast. I only ever see it in late spring and early autumn. Looks much like this. Right, onward. Just come down there, heading that way. A rare clear bit that's relatively dry with dried leaves on. There's fantastic terrain around here. These are big soaring lumps of ejecta, I suppose, from the cliff edge, which is through there somewhere. Can't really see it. I'll be able to see a tree just on the top anyway. But yeah, just these tiny little cliffs all around here that have been completely overgrown by the local flora, trees and whatnot. It's got a weird sort of rumpled, contoured landscape in miniature, I suppose, and then completely overgrown. A lot of lilacs as well. Seeing them all over the country this time of year. Big static purple firework displays just hanging there in the shrubbery. The lilacs are in bloom. Fantastic. Oh, yeah, hiking well. It should be. I've only really been going for about 2 hours, so 2.5 maybe. Passing people. They're not fleeing people though, so that's good. That's always a bad sign. Everyone else is running away from what you're heading towards. I'm usually quite oblivious. There's some kind of rustly wildlife going on around there. Squirrels maybe. I don't know if squirrels like coastal margins. I mean, this is a forest a squirrel could live quite comfortably in, I think, probably. I don't know. Depends what sort of nuts are these beech. I don't know. I just make this stuff up to fill the empty spaces. Good. Right, carrying on. Starting to get a bit peckish. I bought some peanuts with me today instead of an enormous bag of KFC flavoured crisps. thought just, dry roasted peanuts and salted peanuts a bit more sensible. I have to stop for some lunch soon if there's no Lyme Regis on the immediate horizon. There we go, just done that bit. They're not kidding. Difficult walking, arduous. Hopefully that implies the rest of it's a bit easier going into Lyme Regis now. But we'll soon see. Now I really must put the camera away again because it's still quite slippery. Oh, I'm out. There was a bit of road there, now onto something a bit more conventional. Look at this. It's a kind of cast iron. Is that cast iron, is it? That's something, aluminium maybe, anodised. Some sort of mural. Mary Anning and her dog Trey. Mary Buckland, paleontologist, illustrator, marine biologist and mother of 9. Sarah Woodruff, presenting 2 mirror caster tests to Charles Smithson. Presumably local women of science, I guess. Impressive. And unusual. So we're on Ware Cliffs now, so I think we're coming out of all the undercliff stuff and starting to swing around to Lyme Regis itself. And we will say goodbye to Devon. Goodbye, Devon. I've walked you all. That's all Dorset over there. I don't think I'll feel any different. I remember being distinctly disappointed at the Cornwall-Devon crossings. Didn't even notice the Somerset to Devon one. Spent about 2 days trying to work out where that was. It's all just names. The land doesn't care. It's just names people put on things. Well, it's a lovely day. I'm going to burn quite badly today because I forgot to bring any suntan stuff. So, you know, there's always something to complain about if you look hard enough. Oh, this is the life. And I'm not tired because I'm carrying an enormous, stupid, heavy backpack either. Makes me wonder why I didn't do this sort of thing all along. Well, as I explained earlier, too far away to do this sort of thing all along. Too much train journeys and camping and stuff. I mean, I could have B&B'd it and bust it about, I suppose. But no, I like being able to break chunks off of it on just any old Sunday. That's quite convenient for me. Means I can still make some progress. Otherwise, I'd have to wait till May before I got a clement week to go camping on this thing again, probably. And I don't know. Don't really want this to stretch on into another year if I can help it. Might want to do other stuff. Little remote cabins and things dotted along these cliffs. Not where I'd build them, that's for sure. Come back from the pub one night to find the whole thing's just disappeared into the sea. I bet it must be a bugger getting insurance. Quite expensive if it's available at all. Yeah. Good. Off into the undergrowth again soon, I think, so here we go. Blimey, that's all quite daunting. Mind you, I think that's next time. I think that's the other side of Charmouth. Don't have to worry about that today. Still, no plain sailing till the end, I don't think. Lots of work to do. I think we're getting near civilization now. I can hear beach frolicking people. As is up on the top there. I think this will bring us into Lyme Regis soon, where I intend to have at least one ice cream and a lemonade. And I don't know what else. So it's at 2:30 coming up, and I haven't really stopped for lunch. Mind you, I did have a huge sandwich, triple breakfast sandwich thing in the car on the way here. So. The cob. Yeah, let's do that. Just been stumbling down this mad flight of stairs that are very close together. I mean, it's always a bad sign when they've got a handrail, you know, because that's a lot of extra effort to put in. And then just suddenly, ta-da! Massive beach car park. So I guess this must be Lyme Regis. Excellent. Right, I need to finish these stairs. I'll talk to you again briefly. The place is absolutely heaving. This is Lyme Regis. I'm pretty sure that sand's imported too, because it's all pebbles everywhere else along here. Just got a Magnum and a lilt from a corner shop, because I really don't want to have to queue at a hatch. There's a lot of that going on. I think it's fish and chip o'clock or something along here. And lots of hungry campers. So I'm going to try and sit in some shade and consume those. Come with lilt today, just to mix things up. A Ruby Magnum, which you don't have to queue for. So it's good. That's to commend itself. I'll just sit down there in the shade and take the load off for a bit. So there's Lyme Regis. Charmouth is probably over there. Yeah, Charmouth over there, and then up the hill a bit to the car park. So another 4 miles or so, 4 or 5, maybe 3. Looking at that. Although it is a significant inland detour from here to there, as I understand it. So that's going to be interesting. Anyway, people looking at me strangely, so I'm going to put all this away. So noisy. Some sort of clock tower, I think. Dedicated to people who died in the war. Fossil shop up there, big business around here. Surprised I haven't tripped over any myself yet. Trying not to get run over. It's all good, probably. That's the bloody path. That's quite cool. Although I'm not sure if you can see that with the contrast and everything. So that's Charmouth there. I'm trying to work out if that's navigable all along the seashore there. Looks like there's people all the way along. I've seen people out with hammers hammering at rocks looking for fossils. Still, it's irrelevant. The path goes up here, so up I go. That was Lyme Regis. Sorry, eating nuts. Got to keep the salt levels up or something. Now, they say hell is other people. That did look quite Dante-esque down there on the beach. A bit Hieronymus Bosch, if you know what I mean. It's the sort of classic British seaside summer holidays. It's like beleaguered old, middle-aged men hammering in wind about it all. Oh, hello. No. Oh dear. Invaders. Where was I? Hey, ruminating on the nature of the British seaside holiday. I'm sure you get the drift anyway. It's the usual thing. People awkwardly trying to change out of their pants under a towel on a beach so crowded that, with more people than they've seen in the whole previous year. Just does my head in, that sort of thing. I have to admire it. There's a certain heroism about it, The determination of the average Brit to have a proper holiday, come what may, come what cost, no matter the obstacle, no matter how many other people have also had the same idea and have headed for exactly the same bit of beach. Oh God, I could never do that. Even when I was a kid, found it restless, wandering off in the dunes. No, keep on walking. It's a nice place though, Lyme Regis, if a little oversubscribed. I think I'd like to revisit on just a car trip in the winter or something, We're just as pretty, just as architecturally interesting, just as quaint. Just you'll be wearing a duffel coat and huddling over a cup of coffee instead of queuing for an ice cream and waiting for fish and chips to be available. Those fish and chips did smell good actually. I'll have to try and find a chippy on the way home, somewhere inland. So yeah, I'm going to sit here, eat my nuts, drink some water, carry on. We've got about 3 miles to go that way. But the inland detour is quite a lengthy old thing that does go basically along the A road, the A354 or whatever it is along here. So I guess those cliffs are just really unstable. I mean, it looked like you could probably walk along the foreshore, along the very, very, very shore of the sea there, but well, I mean, this whole thing is about doing the coast path as marked out. So, thrown away quite a few of my existing rules already, so let's not throw that one out. But yeah, magnificent day. I thought it was just going to be grey clouds with occasional sun, but this is quite the opposite. So yeah, a little hot. Find some shade in a bit. Once we're up on top of all that cliffs, which looks like where the path goes, I think the wind will pick up a bit. We'll feel the breeze a bit more. Can you hear all those crickets? Can't see any. They're too crafty for that. Field is alive though. What's that? Some sort of fly thing. See? Wildlife everywhere. There he is. Rubbing his legs together, making the noise. Oh, well, he's gone now. Benched. That last hill was a bit of a kicker. 3 fields that are almost identical with the same kind of hill climb. Quite dispiriting. Oh, big noise. Pine cones exploding or something. Monkeys. Well, certainly So here we go, Coast Path. This is quite a new looking sign. Coast Path, back to the main road. And path closed due to landfalls. That's pretty unequivocal, look at that. Mind you, if that were a camping frame of mine, that would then imply that that would be an excellent place to go and put the tent at the end of there. But, you know, don't have to worry about that today. Not going to be disturbed by anyone if you go down there, but there is a slight risk of you dropping into the sea from a great height. Anyway, don't have to worry about that today, I just have to get back to the car, which counterintuitively is that way. I think it loops around the back of this hill along the main road and then down to Charmouth. So potentially a bit of a dreary trudge along an A road again. Let's just hope they've got a footpath on the side. Like it, a bit early for me, but that's the spirit. There you go. Could happen to me. 2013, I'm not sure I'd started on this endeavour back then, but I'm talking ancient history here. Oh, I think I go this way. Well, here's my detour. Up there, I think. This looks both dangerous and unpleasant. You supposed to walk towards oncoming traffic? Don't know. Feels wrong to do that to me. I'm going to go this side. It looks like there's a slight bend, so slightly less hedge cover. Yeah, be seen a bit more easily. There you go, more hikers coming the other way. Yeah, it's a sad fact of the laws of England is that pretty much everything's owned by somebody. So coast paths enshrined in law, fine, but if a bit of it drops off into the sea, you can't just reroute it 200 miles inland parallel to the original course, because that's private land, farms, people's houses. So the default solution typically seems to be reroute by the roads to the nearest A road or whatever, and then rejoin back when the path exists again. So that's what we have to do. Trudge on up here, try not to get mown down. Hey-ho. Thought it was nice to remind myself why I don't do this in August. So this is it's quite thoughtful. Bench here at the top of the hill. Show me about the view. Probably had a magnificent view once. See all across Lyme Valley. I don't know what river that even is. The Lyme? The Regis? Help. Heading to the Char next, I imagine, at Charmouth. Sometimes rivers are not called the same thing as the town at the mouth of that river. Gotcha. These are nice. See a few of those out. Saw a load last year. So I thought it was peculiar to Cornwall, but here we are in Devon. It's the climate, certainly. Still don't know what they're called. I want to say peony, but you know, I've made up bullshit before on this trip, so. Right, I think we must be getting near the top of wherever this is. Yeah, it looks like it levels off around that dangerous blind bend. I'll give it a go. Yeah, just past a golf course. Don't mind if a golf court goes into the sea, they've usually got 18. Just you know, play around to 17, it's fine. And here we are, the as predicted boring, dirty, smelly, tedious. But enough about me, here's the A something or other, which I now have to trudge along. Still, on the plus side, footpath, which does take a certain amount of the edge off, striding along these dangerous country lanes. Yeah, just in case I thought I'd made a mistake. New wood. Fresh acorn. Now that one said. Right, I better get on with this dull bit then. Expect to hear from me a lot later. I take that all back. It's been literally 3 minutes since we last spoke. And we're off across the golf course instead. So actually I should be quite kind and grateful to the golf course. Go down there instead, yeah? Alright, well I'll take that. You know, I mean I'm generally quite and ambivalent, antipatheist, whatever. Generally quite dismissive of golf courses, you know, a good walk spoiled and all that, but I'd rather trudge across a golf course than the A348731 or whatever. It's still there. I don't think it's even anything personal. I've never been clonked by a golf ball walking across one. I've never been driven off of a golf course by packs of dogs. I just feel sorry for the lawnmower dude. I mean, so much work. So that what, 15 guys with trolleys can enjoy themselves in a couple of hours on a Sunday. I think I'd object less if they let it all go, do the entire thing as rough. I'm vaguely aware of the concepts. I think this is the fairway that we're on now. That there is a foxhole of some sort, bomb crater. That's when they do the shelling for the extreme golf sessions. I think the thing with the flag in is some kind of fort, an underground bunker that you need to capture with your small spherical explosive charge. But these bits here, they're the ones that interest me. I believe they call it rough. And if you get your ball in there, it's a bit of a bad thing because you're a bad golfer and you should be a bad golfist and feel bad. But if you get your ball in there, you have to chip away at it, or you can take a penalty and move it onto the flat bit. If they let the entire thing go to that, just the entire thing is rough, maybe I'll let them have their little flat green thing with the flag in, but then they can just spend the whole day doing extreme golf, chipping away like crazy. The pars will go up from like 2 to 3 to about 15 or 16. But think of all the wildflowers and the pollinators and stuff. Get some rabbits, some foxes, whatever. Build up your ecosystem, and then it'd be great. And you could more or less convince people you were some kind of nature warden when you were out golferying. Oh, I don't know. I think my experience stops at the municipal pitch and putt course in my town. Not very good at that. Crazy golf, that's the sport of kings. What this needs is a life-size windmill on top of that flag. You have to get the ball through the veins. And it like spirals down into the flaggy bit. That's the way. Well, anyway, enough ill-informed social commentary. I've got to try and find my way out of this bloody park now. See, it came through here. It goes to here. I think it is by that sign. Oh, there we go. People. That's the clue. Should follow where they went. Here we go, back in the woods. Feel more at home. So I guess prior to 2013, the path would have come out here. Would have gone round the shoreward side of that golf course, along something broadly looking like this all the way along until the ground dropped out from under it all. Again, excellent place to pitch for a night if you're desperate and in this sort of area. No one else is going to be going along that path because it's clearly dangerous and for madmen. So you just go around the bend at the end, stack your tent out probably. That's what I'd do. Still, quite a few daylight hours left. Yeah, it's 4 o'clock. I can just feel it. I feel it in my bones. It's a sort of magic hour approaching. The sun's starting to get a bit yellower, a bit less harsh heat-wise. Light's turning more golden, cooler. This is usually when I get my second wind. Mind you, I'm only about 2 miles from the car now probably, so oh well. I'd rather not carry on and then have to walk back to the car in the dark. So adjust the stages, I think, for this kind of day bagging. Starts to become predictated by where the long stay car parks are and where the buses are, which means probably I'm going to start deviating from the suggested day stages listed on the South West Coast Path Association website. So who knows how many days left. I think theoretically after today there'll be 6 more days, but I may end up de-escalating that and making it longer rather than shorter as I usually do. So we'll see. Just less time in the day because I have to drive home and drive here and back again. Stuff keep dropping off that tree. Right, down here, looks slippery again, so I'm putting the camera away. Well, that's the second largest beaver den I've seen all day. Yeah, back into the main road again. My golf course detour might be at an end. Oh well, we'll take what comes. I worked out what the noise was. It was nuts. Nothing was dropping anything, it was the tree itself. It's a combination of time of year, angle of sunlight, temperature, etc. It knew that it was time to spread its seed. So yeah, little hairy pods dropping off occasionally. Birth of new trees, probably. Or they'll just get ate by squirrels, whichever. There we go, not the world's best wildlife photographer, but it's not bad. A pair of deer there just munching away on the hotel green. Yep, that's me. Coast Path diversion. See, a little white guy, that's me in silhouette without the hat. And having been on a diet for a bit. Yeah, this isn't what I signed up for, look at this. Everywhere UK. Now, Charmouth's down there somewhere, if I keep trudging. I mean, you know, at least it's been a downhill, trudgy, boring road, so that's something. Let's keep moving. Well, I don't know what to say. So this is Charmouth. Just need to wander down this high street and then find a turning somewhere on the right, back down to the sea lion. Sea lion? No, that's not a word that I want. Seashore. Sea line, I suppose, yeah. I think I need more water. Charmouth High Street. Well, I call it High Street. I think there's a shop or two down there. I got a bus from here earlier. And it is indeed charming. See what I did there? So I'm still not quite sure where my diversion ends. I haven't been told to take any of these side turnings yet, so I'll carry on down the high street, I think. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, what do you think? That sign is clearly pointing into the side of a house. I'm going to assume that way, why not? And here we are, Charmouth Beach. End of today. Yeah, it does look like there's people all along that foreshore there. They're probably looking for fossils and things. Still, that wasn't the coast path. Coast path was up and around there, and I've done that. So, here we are. So this isn't even the end of day one of week 8 in theory, because I'm supposed to get to Seatown, which I think might be between those two cliffs there, or perhaps after the next one. Yeah, Seaton to Seatown. I can see how you might be confused. But my car's here, so I'm going to call it a day here, I think. And it is only just come 4:45, so a bit of an early finish, in fact. That's okay. Give me a leisurely drive home. I can sit about here with a drink for a bit. Go find the car somewhere up there. Yeah, excellent. Join me next time. I don't know when, really. I'm just looking for any Sunday when it's sunny down here, so probably sooner than you think for the next step. And I don't even know where I'm going to be next stepping to. Probably the West Bay, which is just south of Bridport. So that seems a reasonable leg, but we'll see. Looks quite a big hill there, though. I mean, look at that bastard. Yeah, problem for another day. So I'm going to go and find a change of footwear and some cold drinks and things. And I shall see you next time.